Come on, come on. Listen. Everybody, please listen.
Revolution, freedom, Uhuru, Sasa, Uhuru, Sasa, Uhuru, Sasa. Well, that means freedom now. Uhuru is freedom, Sasa is now. So when you hear say Uhuru, Sasa, we're saying freedom now. I just want to say Asante. Y'all sit on down, Africans. You know we all come on. Sit down and relax. You know. Y'all sit down. Be cool. These soldiers here. You know, we all soldiers. But this is reminiscent of the old days when we were gathered down in South Park, down in Nicholson, here everywhere, and come together as a united nation to fight against our problems. But before, hey, sit there saying, sit down. That's right. Sit down. Well, we Africans, we can do anything. And we're going to do this. But hey, y'all sit down so we can get a little quiet, so I can give props to our beautiful sister, Maxine Waters. Our Harry Tubman, she's fight. She's the only one that revealed and fight with them people up there in Congress. And I want to give props to our beautiful queens in struggle. And of course to my family, Ashaki, Shona, Hiroji, little Ashaki, back there. And of course to y'all, my extended family, who sustained me throughout these years and support. Y'all, hey, I ain't had too much sleep. Y'all don't want me to get funky like I used to now. Y'all, I've been out of the penitentiary a little over a month and a half, and I'm trying to adapt to y'all way of living, because it's a lot different. 27 years is a lot of difference. So I'm trying to be nice. But y'all be cool, you know. I can't even hear nothing. Y'all know I'm not used to speaking. Most of y'all who saw me back then, saw me on the streets patrolling these police, trying to have shootouts, trying to bring home a message that we ain't bullshitting, that we ready to die for what we believe in. But now they come out here and y'all trying to make a speak out me. I look at y'all, I see him in Folsom. He was in Quinton with me 15 years ago. He was on death row with me. He was in Solidarity with me. Damn, that's a damn shame. So, I love y'all, and I want to holler at everybody. Every first chance I get, because we got some ideas. And, hey, what's happening in Africa? I love you. That's right. We used to feed children, and she used to help us back in the day. A lot of y'all used to feed the kids in the morning. And I see a lot of those soldiers out here with gray hair and stuff who used to patrol the police at night. And we patrolled the police at night. In the morning, we were there feeding those children. See, that's something that's very important to understand, that our struggle was always based on love. And that what made us so strong, because that's the strongest force there is. We were so in love with our young children that we were willing to take bullets for them, that we were willing to die for them. We did so much, we would tell the police, don't do this, don't. We died, we went to prison, that the people tell me now, say, Geronimo, they said, while we were keeping the police off our children, we were spoiling them And said, look at them now. They're spoiled. They don't respect the elders. They don't respect the women. They don't respect each other. They're listening to the police. Now you seen everybody showing proof that the shit is coming from the CIA, yet you're still doing it. What the hell is going on? So while we were giving our lives, protecting the children, feeding y'all, going without eating and stuff, we didn't realize we were spoiling y'all ass. So when y'all came in the pen, you get discipline. And that's what we need now. We need discipline. We need youngsters to understand that real war ain't no joke. You can talk about all of the bull drives you hear on TV, on the rap records, but y'all know Tupac, y'all knew my heart, and y'all know he lived it, he died it. And a lot of people be talking that bullshit, and we don't want to hear it because we got to be serious about putting together the kind of forces that is going to require to get us to liberate our nation. We have to liberate our nation. Snoop Doggy Dogg. But I know, what are y'all talking about? Oh. Yeah, bring the flag up here. Don't move the flag. That's what we fight for. That's the colors. But y'all show us a special. All right, y'all all right now over there? Look, I've been to D.C., I've been to Philly, I've been to New York, I've been to Atlanta, I've been to New Orleans, I ain't been to Dallas yet, I ain't been to Houston yet. Each of these cities where we had Black Panthers, they're just like this. Just like this. Everyone is so receptive, not so much to Geronimo, because we don't deal with personalities. Everyone is so receptive to the principle of revolution right now. So what do we do about that? We have certain formulas that's been thought about for years in those prisons and out here on the streets with brothers who continue to struggle, like Kamal, Jabbarani, the Malcolm X grassroots movement, the Nation of Islam, all of the groups that's been for real in carrying on what we started. I can't salute you enough because I know the pressures that's being leashed upon you. In warfare, you have to know your enemy. You can talk all you want, but until you understand who your enemy is, you're going to be killing the wrong person. So when you understand that if this guy sticks a dog on you, or kill a dog, a group of dogs on you, you're going to try to defend yourself, but you don't turn around the rest of your life hating those dogs and I'm going to kill those dogs and your whole life is consumed as killing those poor dogs that was only doing what they were told. You have to know who your enemy is. Your enemy, they're not the dog. The enemy is the pig. The pig fits the dog. See what I'm saying? You take the dog and you put him in your kennel. You give him some meat, you turn him and you put him over there, and you get at the pig. You get at the real enemy. It's not easy to know who your real enemy is when you are involved in a psychological war. In psychological war, everything is a lie. It is based on deception. You have various forms of war. We conducted armed struggle out in these streets. Walter Two-Way Pope, Lil John Clark, Red, Sandy Red. I can name on a lot of brothers and sisters who lost their lives, conducted armed struggle. You remember with the guns, conventional struggle. We've conducted conventional struggle. We've conducted defensive struggle. We've conducted all sorts of struggle and understanding who the real enemy is and how he's coming at you. Right now, And for decades, the enemy has been defeating us through psychological warfare. He's been tricking you. He's been making you hate each other. He's been making you turn on your brothers, on your mamas, on your own family. He's been doing it through the media. He's been doing it through music. He's been doing it through all sorts of avenues that you have to get hip to and understanding what the real enemy is. And a lot of times it's not easy because when you're looking at television or movies and you don't see something that's there, it's like trying to understand the wisdom of the one-hand clap. If you somebody put on a screen, go snitch, and you're looking at a video, a music video, you don't see go snitch. But those subliminal suggestions are being embedded in your mind, and next thing you know, you're going to tell on somebody. You see what I'm saying? I'm just talking about psychological warfare, understanding your enemy. You have to know who your real enemy is and have to understand how to defend yourself against that enemy. Lies, deception, gossip, rumor mongering, slander, all this you see, and I know you participated in it every day, is being generated the same place where crack is generated, right in Langley, Virginia. They come at you with the crack, and you know that's chemical warfare. That's not particularly psychological warfare. That's chemical warfare. They come at you with the AIDS, that's biological warfare. So you have to understand the various forms of warfare by first understanding your enemy who could stoop that low. They talk about Saddam Hussein. They've been practicing chemical and biological warfare against all people for decades. Look what happened in Tuskegee. Look what happened in Frisco in the early 60s. And we know this, but our youngsters don't know this. People of my generation know this, but our youngsters don't know this. We're not passing it on to them. Well, you're saying, well, they don't want to listen. All they want is what y'all call a 40 ounce. And all they want is 40 ounces and listen in the rap. They will listen. They will listen. They do want to listen. They do want to learn. We have to take time. If we have to take extreme measures sometime, we got to get across to them because that's the future. And that's who they're targeting. They're targeting our young soldier class. You see what I'm saying? I've been studying the war for years. That's why they hate me. I have yet to talk to any FBI agent in my 27 years until this day. And Omar, you see all these brothers who maintain the Panthers right here. Roland Freeman, Omar Holmes, Kamal, Long John Washington, Paul Claw. People that you never hear of, Daddy-O, we used to call Daddy-O back in the day. His name is Damu now. Everyone's Mubarak. It used to be Tony Quisenberry. All around here. Ojinki, all around here. These brothers patrol the police. Geronimo did not start the Panthers in Los Angeles. I'm from the South. Bunchy Carter started the Black Panthers in Los Angeles. Geronimo was not the longest held political prisoner from the Panthers. Romaine Chip the General, who is still in prison, is the longest held political prisoner in those prisons. I did not start a whole lot of stuff in Los Angeles. I came here to help educate and to teach military tactics to the Los Angeles Panthers, to the San Francisco Panthers, to the New York Panthers, to the Chicago Panthers, all throughout the South, New Orleans, where I'm from, New Orleans, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Birmingham, Memphis, and I got to go back to all them places because they said, boy, you better come back because you're our homeboy. Feels like I'm a homeboy here. But I don't want to take no credit from these brothers that fought and died before I came here. I was in Vietnam when they was getting killed over there off of Adams and Montclair and Adams when their Bobineau got killed out there. I was in Vietnam fighting on the battle. So I don't want people to misunderstand how processes start. And at the same time, I wear the lion, the symbol I tell people, I told them in New York, that me and Pennywell knows helped put the Panthers together in New York. I told them I want to talk to all the Panthers after we talk. Then all the Panthers, after I gave my little spiel, went in a room, and we had a whole get-down Panther meeting because they were bull jiving. Down in the city, I see unity here. There, and I told them, everywhere I go, I'm going to tell them, the Black Panthers in New York ain't shit. I'm going to tell them. And I want y'all to get mad at me, because they know me, right? Because a lot of them called me the other day and said, gee, okay, there's some beautiful brothers, but they were letting a rumor divide them. And it interfered with certain things. Here it is, I've done 27 years, it's 1997, and they still allowing COINTELPRO type shit to do this. Then I said, I want to see you after the meeting. And went through some blows, like we used to do. But now we understand better. You see, we cannot let this happen. We have to set the example. We learn from our mistakes. COINTELPRO wasn't no joke. They killed brothers. Putting us in prison ain't nothing. They took lives. They took Bunch's life. They took John's life. They took Two Ray's life. They took Ray's life. They took Little Savage's life. Dewey's life. They took Bobby's life. My boy Fred Hampton. I said to Ray, I just said to him, well, I just left Bob West wants to try to do something. And I could name and name and name and name. They made us tell our sister Osana, well, we can get you out of the prison, but we have to get you out the country for a while, sister, because they're going to try. We have to decriminalize all that so Osana, Nahanda, and all those beautiful sisters could come back, not as criminals, but as heroes. Osana is a hero. Nahanda is a hero. And they got them talking about their fugitives from justice. How we going to do this? People say, how we going to do this? I tell you in prison, is that Bow Wow over there? People who done time, the youngsters said, that was the solution. And I tell them like I tell you everywhere, we got to let the legal process, not within the confines of a foreign government, the United States, who were the descendants of our former slave masters. We're not in them. They're not our presidents, our Supreme Court. That's bullshit. That's being imposed on us. So our solution is to organize our nation. It's the same message that Marcus Garvey gave our people in the early century. It's the same message that Malik El-Hashabaz carried on, and we are still carrying on today. And it's a shame that we haven't done it yet. We thought we were going to get in the next millennium as a free nation. We have upwards to 50 million people, which would rank us maybe the ninth most populous nation in the world. We have over now $600 billion a year. I said billion going to our nation every year, which would rank us as, I think, the fifth richest nation in the world. We have the doctors. We have the professors. We have the technicians. We have everything. And we still don't call ourselves a nation. That's a damn shame. And I can't tell no gang member to respect you when you turn around and bow down to the same son of a bitches that put our ancestors into slavery and call them our leaders. I'm sorry. And I mean, don't disrespect to our elders and our sisters when I use those extreme words. I just want to drive home the point that after 27 years, how in the hell we ain't free? How in the hell we ain't got our own institutions? We ain't got our own schools. We ain't got our own nation, our own doctors. If y'all want drugs, I sell them in the pen. Y'all want to sell some drugs? I mean, what I'm going to do, when we liberate, I'm going to give y'all the pharmaceutical companies. You got to make all the drugs y'all want. And you own the drugs. You control the drugs. And the fellow said, well, Geronimo, you gonna support them? I said, yeah. I said, because I know them brothers ain't going to put them drugs on their children. They gonna see those drugs as being medicinal, just like our ancestors did, as something from the spirit, as something healing, like Imhotep tried to teach us thousands and thousands of years ago. We're going to turn that around And the brother on the street and the sister on the street selling that shit, we're going to put them in top of our pharmaceutical companies. So we all know all about it anyway. So here you're in charge of the medicine. And I'll bet you any amount of money. I haven't tried it before. I tried it in prison. You can't find a more dedicated leader in that area that will make sure that none of our people become addicted to those elements because they know they come up the hard way. Don't put them in jail. Don't put them in jail. Don't put nobody in jail. Get out in the fucking jail. We shouldn't have no jail. We shouldn't have no alien, pale-faced dogs putting our people in no prison. We have our own problems. And we got to continue that spirit, the spirit of the old Panther, the spirit of the old Simba, the spirit of revolution and liberation. And a lot of people might say, I don't do a lot of talking. I back what I say up. You see what I'm saying? But y'all want to hear me, and I'm trying to convey and let myself be a backbone to bank shot some of the stuff that the brothers told me to pen. Dr. Mutulu Shakur, Sekou Odenga, Sundiata Akali, Brother Bashir, Nicky Laborde. Yeah, I'm talking about black liberation army soldiers who, when they were busted, told the pig, I am a soldier, this is my name, my rank, and my serial number, and that's all you get. And they're still in prison today. They did everything that was required of them by the Geneva Accord. They said, if you are arrested in a prison or during the course of an insurrection, then you have a right, as in any war, to state your name, rank, and serial number, and you will be treated as a prisoner of that war. The United States do not recognize us as prisoners of war. We have to make them, because that's the reality. We are at war, and every time a soldier stands up to defend you in that war, and if something happens to him, if he's attacked, he's supposed to be attacked. He's expendable. He cannot cry. He cannot get in that county jail and contact Maxine Waters and say, hey, I did this for you, now do this for me. He is not a soldier if he does that. He cannot contact the Nation of Islam and say, hey, I fought for you, now you got to defend me. That ain't the kind of soldier that we have. We die for our people. We go to prison for 27 years for our people and don't come out and ask for nothing. Because our dedication is for liberation. It's for the liberation of our people, and it's not for us being treated well in those prisons. That's a struggle, and I tell them all in there, I'm not going to tell them to make it comfortable for you in here. They know me. All y'all done time with me. They know I never accepted a cellie. They come to me and say, you going to put a cell in here? I said, no, you're not. I'm not going to fight my cellie. I'm fighting you. That's why I had so many assaults in prison. Because I would not stoop to the level of them cramming me in a little space like they did our ancestors on those slave ships when they brought us over here. And I tell them brothers in prison, don't accept double selling. Because if you tell me, Brother Geronimo, we love you for what you've done, then you turn around and you accept a cellie, then you're telling me by your actions you don't love me. Because you're making room for the master to put more people in prison when you accept double selling. If you fight for single selling at this point, then they won't have no space. They ain't got enough space now with double selling. And by law, a dog in a dog pound gets more room than a person in those cells. And all it requires, tell your brothers and the sisters in prison, just complain a little bit. Just refuse one time to leave the mess hall. Just act up a little bit and base it on the fact that it's inhumane to put two human beings in a space this small, and then we'll win that issue. Because by all laws, from international to even these old fascist laws, they say that you have a right to have that space. That's what makes such a big difference. Because courts will rule in your favor. I never had a cellie in 27 years because I fought for that. Well, at first I didn't have no charge. They had me in a hole for the first thing here. But then when I got out, they tried that. And I said, oh, no. The other passed through and said, I'm going to come. I said, but no. You might think that's a trivial issue, but just think with the money that they're pouring in this genocidal plot to put us in prison, what would happen if every brother in those prisons refused to have a celly in the space that small? Because I tell them, I said, bro, I don't down on anybody, but I don't relate to homosexuality. And to me, a grown man is supposed to be that close to another grown man. I'm going to say something funny about it. And they know me. I see y'all out there, y'all laughing. And I told y'all that 5, 6 years ago. But y'all turning around with yourselves, up your little city, y'all in there blue-bopping, smelling each other's farts, can't sleep at night, listening to that snoring. Then you won't come to me, then you won't fight your silly. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody want to fight their silly, because anybody you that close to gonna get on your nerves. So I tell you from the start, don't even accept no silly. You tell him, you won't put him in there, put him in your cell, guard. If you want to make something about it, shoot me. Kill me. I'm going to fight you. You got to have guts. If you die, so what? You can't die for a better cause. It might seem like a trivial issue, but in the inner workings of those prisons, there's so much going on. I know a lot of y'all know. But like I tell them, prisons is only but a small part of our overall struggle for liberation. We can't supersede that over more important issues of crack in our community, of disrespect to our elders. We used to be able to walk down these streets, old folks 60, 70 years old at night, safely. You let anybody mess with them. If we couldn't get to a place, the Muslim would have got them. If the Muslim would have got them, some of the us people would have got them. If us wouldn't have got them, APP would have got them. We loved our people, and that's the difference. They made y'all hate each other. We went through hell coming from Louisiana, when everybody was known as colored and Negro. His name was Stokely Carmichael back then, Kwame Ture, Ralph Brown, Brother Jamal, and so many others, Kathleen. All of us struggled so hard to make y'all understand that we are no longer Negroes, we are no longer colored, but that we were black. Then they call it the Black Power Movement. Now, this is 1997, and we grow. We mature. And throughout those years, some of the greatest minds among us has resolved that we have to cease calling ourselves by an adjective, black. A nation has to call itself by a noun, okay? And we have to get away from the shame or the fear of being called Africans. We are Africans. And we have to be proud of the fact that we are Africans. So we got native blood, we got some of every blood in the world. But everything began in Africa, so why not, with it all these years doing things from an Eurocentric viewpoint, why not try the real Afrocentric, where life really began, where everything really evolved from. So we are Africans, and we call ourselves New Africans to distinguish from the mamaland. So this is the new term in identifying our nation, and Imari Obadeli of the Republic of New Africa, Chuck William Mover, and Dr. Matulu were very instrumental in bringing this realization about and getting us to understand ourselves. Because just like we have to understand our enemy, we have to also understand ourselves. So that self-identification is very important, and it goes into our historical personality that's based on our Africanity. It's not based on any Europeanness other than this intrusion by slavery. And when you carry on the legacy of slave masters, you're doing our movement a great disservice. When you carry on the legacy of a dog who's raped your grandmama, and you got this child, like little baby Shaggy back here, and you say you love your child, and you turn around and you give that child the name of this dog who raped your grandmama, I can't understand that. You're giving that child an evil spirit. That's what our ancestors taught us. The power of the no-no, the power of the word. So don't give those children those names of the what kind of the devil. because you're cursing those children. And when they grow up, their first name may be Jamal, but their last name may be Rothschild or somebody who participated in that. That ain't going to work. Because when they grow up, they're going to have that divided conscience again, and they're going to end up where I was talking to Brother G. In penitentiary, or dead. They got that divided conscience, that social schizophrenia that you see so prevalent among us because we are so scared to re-embrace our ancestry fully by changing both our names and giving that legacy to our children so they can carry it on, something, and not the legacy of our slave masters. That causes a lot of disrespect. And from what most of the youngsters would tell me when they said that their parents, or whatever they had, did take time with them, that they were giving them stuff that didn't make sense. And so you older brothers and sisters, when I say take time with the youngsters, don't be like we used to say in the 60s, don't be educated fools from uneducated schools, because them youngsters going to see through that. When you take time with them, you better give them the real. You better study yourself. You better come to these meetings. You better contact somebody and get the knowledge so you can pass it on properly. Like I just told you about the brief history of the Panthers here, that the transformation from the Slaughter, from the renegades, from the rebel rousers, from the bartenders, from the farmers. I don't hear nothing. The old farmers, old bartenders, rebel rousers. See, back then, these were the gangs that Bunchy and those had to deal with, and struggling to change this gangster mentality into a revolutionary mentality. And a lot we can't talk about. Like I told y'all in them corners a lot of times, that we have learned that in the 60s, we ran our mouth a little bit too much about certain things. But you can rest assured, when we get in our little respective areas, that the word will be given to develop certain functions. So you can expect to see a change all throughout, not because I'm out of prison, but because it's a new trend, it's a new effort that's being won all throughout the country, that's liberating a lot of people, not only in prison, behind the walls, but in prisons on the other side of the walls. And the coming together is sincere because we now know who we can trust, and we now know who we cannot. We now know a lot that we're going to use, we're going to implement, we're going to put to practice. And we can't do it without you. We understand ourselves as y'all understand ourselves as us. We can't see each other as anything apart. I am, therefore we are, I am. The old mind principles. We cannot see ourselves as being apart. The contradiction that people see with people who's in Congress or people who's in different organizations has to be understood. It has to be understood, and it's easy to understand as long as you are around old master to put his 2 cents in. Because once he put his 2 cents in, you're going to end up calling a beautiful sister some bad names. You see, don't listen. You take everything with a grain of salt. All this gossip, all this rumor, that's one of our greatest enemies. And Hitler started that. He didn't start it. It goes back way back to Sun Tzu. But during Hitler's time and Mussolini, they would send troops in civilian clothes to their enemies before they ever sent troops in uniform. And they would be in them old zoot suits. Back then they wore them old big old suits. And they would go into the population. And they would mingle among the population. They would spread rumors among that population. And they would tell that population that Malcolm X wasn't no good. They would tell them that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did dust and soap. And the next thing you know, they got us killing each other. It works. And among our people, I'm sorry to say, it works more frequently than not. We have to stop being so eager to hate each other. When we brought in the Black Power movement in the 60s, that was based on love. They said black was ugly, we said black was beautiful. They said this was African, they said this was yellow, we said that was African gold. We began to identify and define our own reality. They said that was a fig tree. We said, no, that's a plum tree. They said, no, that's not a car, that's a horse and a buggy. We said, no, that's a car. We begin to define things ourselves. And that's what we got to do. When we said black was no longer ugly, it was now beautiful. You wouldn't believe the pride and the dignity that swept all throughout our nation. That scared them more than anything. They haunted Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael at the time. They haunted Brother Carson and Fidelino because they knew that of all the guns, of all the breakfast programs, of all the rhetoric, that nothing hurt them more than black people loving each other. Black was beautiful. Black in the bed, the street of the Jew, all that. Now, I go to the pen, I leave the street, black was still beautiful. I come back, black hate each other. That trips me out. We even allowed them to come and present that old European image. And a lot of people think they use Michael Jackson, and I'm not talking against him, but I'm talking about that European features. If you don't look like the white woman, then you were ugly. If you don't look like the white man, then you were ugly. Those standards, we had gotten away from that in the 60s and made our black women the standards of beauty, our black men the standards of beauty, and we loved each other. Not people who look like Michael Jackson look, or these European images look. And I'm not taking anything from anybody, but it's very important because I begin to see the youngsters coming up, starting putting that nuclear waste in their head, start denying their own culture. And I would ask them, why y'all doing that? And they're talking about, well, Michael, and the images, the process. I'm in pen all this time. So I'm learning this later, and I'm telling y'all, those images are very detrimental. They spend big money to raise those images up over good entertainers, over for real entertainers that's rooted in the community, like the white prophets and brothers who can give you the messages, because they want you to love them. They want you to pinch your nose and put that bull job in your hair, which kills you. They want you to hate yourself. When I left the streets in the 60s, you could ask anybody, we loved each other, so we had problems. But we struggled to resolve those problems. Our main contradiction was them. I'll come back now, our contradiction is among ourselves. Because the brother, and we didn't know L.A. to be this sect, the 8-Trace sect, the Rolling 60 sect. We didn't know it like that. They had to teach me in prison what this meant, and it hurt me every time they told me. But I had to listen because I didn't know. And I told them youngsters, y'all got to teach me. Don't teach me wrong, no, but y'all got to teach me because I don't know. I've been away a long time. But we didn't sector. We didn't bifurcate. We didn't cut each other off. Like if you from 43rd, then I'm from 43rd, or you from 92nd and B, then I'm this and I'm that. Bro, is y'all crazy? But look, I understand. You can't do it like that. If you want to do it like that, then you forget anything. You just want to do like we say in prison, bend over and spray them. Because dude is going to do you without no grease. You see what I'm saying? You're going to win it for you. But I know you all know that. So I hate to repeat them things because it sounds rhetorical. It sounds rhetorical because you done heard this so many times. So I'm about action. I'm about making it work. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, a lot of brothers say, well, what you did in the 60s about the drugs in the community. We shot and we killed drug dealers. I'm sorry. And here's one of the main brothers, Brother Omar. I'm not copping to no crime because Because revolutionaries don't commit no crime when you're acting in service of the people. That's what the international laws state, and we are proud of that. But listen to me. A lot of y'all know those old drugs, and you too young, those old dope dealers in the past, we first would go talk to them. And those old brothers, the most successful ones didn't use their products. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they had clear heads. And they loved us because they know we wasn't trying to compete in no drug world where we going to get the sack and make more money. We would take the dope. It was around back then. We would flush it. But the ones that wouldn't adhere to the principles that we were trying to lay down, that the community had agreed to, they were smoked. I'm sorry. And that's the reality of it. You see? Now, I'm not saying we're going to come out here and smoke nobody. But I'm letting you know, we here to live our life for the revolution and to die for the revolution. And I'll be damned if I'm going to die, I'm going to leave you selling crack to my kids. You're going first. I'm sorry. Y'all know where dope comes from. And I can't say enough about the courageousness of this beautiful sister Maxine for confronting the CIA. I mean, when we saw that in prison, we know when Freeway Rick did that, we know what's going on. Because in the penitentiary, we've been trying to tell people for years that these while people get a little money, they done got a little something over our struggle, and they on the hill somewhere, they don't want to listen. We've been trying to tell them for years, from Clinton, from Folsom, from Death Row. We know what's going on out here. Y'all better listen. But they don't want to listen. But now, you're forced to listen because it's affecting your family, your brothers, your sisters. Now you got to do something. And we're trying to tell you right now, we got a program that ain't got no problems and no contradictions with now black organizations that's struggling. We don't have no contradictions with nobody. Everybody is our brothers and our sisters who are fighting in this movement. People who have contradictions come like we used to do before. We got to resolve them. And I know y'all don't like to hear that because of vendettas. And I understand vendettas. Once you spill the first blood, I want to get back. That's something we got to struggle with. And that's something that can be handled. It was handled before. So, what time is it? 4:13. Am I taking too long? All right. I wish I could take all of y'all to Harlem right now. Because there's a park in Harlem, Malcolm X Park. And that's my mind just flashed back there because the beautiful brother who was in Annika named Brother Akil Al-Jundi, who was about to, looked like he was about to die. We went to visit him in the hospital. A lot of you may recognize his name from Attica, the Attica uprising. Brother Akil was there, and he's always, when he got out of Attica, young, big black and all of them, always giving his all to his people. And right now, he's doing real bad because of diabetes, and it's eating him up. And there's so many brothers, Sister Somaya, that y'all remember the shootout down there on 41st and Central. She's the one that came out first after that 5.5 hour battle. I mean, and the sister has sickle cell anemia. Sister and Jerry, she suffers from advanced emphysema. Sister Beverly in Jamaica, Queens, she has sickle cell. We have casualties. Sister Taliba, we have casualties, just like in any war. We have war wounded. I have PTSD. We have so many problems that we have to deal with, but we're dealing with. I wanted to make this known because these sisters and brothers have sacrificed so much without asking for anything. And they were there getting shot, like Sister Thomas, getting tear gas, getting whipped, getting put in jail. And they were so strong, and they still are. They are mothers now, they are grandmothers. And I want those sisters to be respected, my brothers. Please don't disrespect them. Queen Mother Moore, who Kamal mentioned. I mean, you're talking about the epitome of matrilineal profession who has been fighting since the Marcus Garvey days, from the time of Noble Drew Ali and Father Divine and Danny Grace and Master Farah. This is the early part of the century when the great black men put their heads together And Father Divine said, well, I'm going down this road. Daddy Grace said, I'm going down this road. Master Farad said, I'm going down this road. Noble True Ali said, I'm going down this road. And Marcus Garvey said, and everything was so beautiful. And you see the remnants of it today. That's the kind of spirit and unity we have to regain before we enter the 21st century. It's a shame if we enter the 21st century still calling Clinton and the white folks our leader. It's a damn shame. It's a shame to country. It's a shame to everyone who's given their lives for the liberation of our people. It's a shame to Marcus. It's a shame to Biden. You can go back to the 1800s. Study history. We've been struggling to call our own shots ever since the so-called Emancipation Proclamation, when our dear Frederick Douglass decided in his old age to befriend a Caucasian woman, and I'm not putting him down. Don't call me a racist. I'm calling him like I see him. When Frederick Douglass befriended that Caucasian after his beautiful wife died, and then advised the newly freed slaves to opt for assimilation as opposed to nationhood, we've been having problems ever since. And we have to be careful for our so-called leaders and watch them very closely, because we cannot deal with personalities. We got to deal with principles. We don't want no movie stars leading our revolution. We want principles leading our revolution. We don't want nobody living in no penthouses like Huey Newton did when he got out, walking around like Superfly, driving in long limousines, spending the people's money. We want real people serious about revolution. We don't care about no capitalism. We care about freedom. And if you run into anybody trying to pimp the struggle, then that is that. That is that. The truth is in the practice. You see what I'm saying? You got people getting a lot of money off the revolution. You got people pimping the revolution. We got to stop that. We got to start directing the funds. Never, not once, did the Black Panther Party ever accept now $1 from the United States government as long as we existed. And they came with big money. They came with billions, all these programs y'all see, theater, family business, they came to us, they said, man, what y'all want? Dr. Field tells this real good. Elder Screever do too. And they would tell them, get your ass out of our office. We ain't got nothing to talk about. And they was offering billions of dollars. People say, man, y'all crazy, y'all can get the money, y'all can work them. Hard and fast policy. Till this day, I have yet to talk to an FBI agent. Till this day, I have yet to talk to any one of them police. We stand steadfast to our principles. We ain't got nothing to talk about. I'm busy talking to my nation. Quit bothering me. Y'all want me to solve your problems? That's your problem. We got a black nation that's upwards to 50 million strong that we got to pay attention to. It's called brain drain. Soon we get a little knowledge, they want to give us some job in the corporate. It's brain drain. I got to stay with my people. We got to liberate our nation, and we got to stop letting these white folks buy us off with a few trinkets and a few little houses up on a hill with the picket fence. Out there building around the street. Give me on Central. Put me on the rock on 107. That's where I feel. Down there in Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? Leave me with my people. Y'all know I did the time, and I go back. But we got to stop. I was so hurt they brought me down there a couple of years ago. We had one of the most beautiful centers, the most beautiful liberated areas in the country, right down there in Nicholson, Imperial Court. How you think I felt when they brought me and put me in the jail right across from where we fought and died and ambushed them pigs? How you think I felt? I did not feel good. You were not supposed to let them put no jail there. And then you're talking about, yeah, we got our own jail. We shouldn't have no jail in our nation. We shouldn't let them people lock our children up. We gonna discipline our own children. We don't need them interfering with our family life. We got to be serious. Y'all just clapping and shouting. Y'all know me. I want to see y'all on the street putting the foot down to the middle. Even if you lose your life, I'm sorry. It's about living and dying. It ain't about no bulljive. It's about living and dying. I just left a whole lot of graves in them prisons. Before I went to prison, I left a lot of graves out here on the street. Before I left them here, I left them in Vietnam. Before I left them in Vietnam, I left them down there in Mississippi and Alabama when they lynched Emmett Till. When they shot our homeboy Boo-Boo Rush, we attacked them police. We attacked the Klan with guns. Martin Luther King didn't come through there with that non-violence stuff. We told him, bro, we love you, but we don't need you. And he understood. He left, and we carried our guns. We fought, we died. That's how I grew up in a struggle. And that's how I would die. For the liberation of my people. And I see a lot of y'all out there who have the same principles. I ain't talking to y'all, because I know what y'all want to do. Y'all prove it, try it, and test it. I'm talking to the ones out there that got these limousines in their mind, these palaces, this self-aggrandizing, what I could get for myself when people are sacrificing right now today in prison, 27, 28, 30 years. Brother, I'm still in that 30 years, and you out there telling me, what can I get for myself? When this brother came go to the canteen and buy himself a toothbrush or some toothpaste, and you out there talking about, I'm going to spend my money on some crack. And I'm telling y'all, we got to start taking it serious, because serious measures are being enacted. I can't go too much in detail about that, but I can let you know, you give us that vote, we will deliver not only your nation, but we will give you your reparations. Because once the vote comes back, and when I say vote, I ain't talking about voting inside their context. I'm talking about voting inside the international context, because I'm not participating in any election that these people have anything to do with, other than maybe sending Jimmy Carter to watch observer centers. We're not going to let them be involved at all when we poll our nation and ask y'all, do y'all want integration or do y'all want liberation? What is the answer? Liberation. When that vote comes back for liberation, it's showing integration, which has had, 30 years now? And everybody knows it don't work. You see, even the NAACP, they admitting. Since I was back here, I said, damn, practice is the criterion of the truth. Now they coming to us for a solution. We don't say, don't come to us. We've been trying to tell you for years, you're all Arkansas, we can't say that. That ain't the way. We have to accept them. We have to struggle with them. We got a nation to liberate. We can't get bogged down in no petty bullshit. We can't keep letting them trap us in these fratricidal struggles. That's what's happening here in LA, in certain places, in certain areas, and other parts of the nation, in Chicago and in New York. So, no more divide and conquer. No more shooting each other. That's right. Come on with some more. And like I say, all this is well and good. But you talking about drug wars, you talking about the money. I'm telling you, they'll buy you off. It's all about the money. And you come up to me and say, bro, I love you, but it's all about the money. Then what you are telling me is that this man can come and give you $50,000 to tell on me. Oh, no, bro, it ain't no, bro. If it's all about the money, you're going to take that money. Oh, well, that's my philosophy. That's what you tell him. Bro, if it's all about the money, if I give you $50,000, $95,000, would you go tell and he don't say no, because he know nobody like no Smith. So then you tell him, well, it's not all about the money, bro. We understand certain economic measures have to be taken. We look at it in a national perspective. We ain't got time right now. We have to listen to y'all to deal with it on a step-by-step perspective on this level. But in prison, we're not on the street. So we had to study the international picture to see where our nation was internationally. And we found out that we stand to be the third, maybe the fourth most richest nation in the world, the ninth most populous nation in the world. All we got to do is do something that, and it's interesting, when you talk about using their weapons against them, what have they been hollering about all these years? Democracy, 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 right? So what we are doing under international law is only conducting an democratic survey that if anybody goes against, they will show themselves up. Because we understand if these sisters here would like to go and cast their opinion as individuals as to what they would like to see happen, then no one should interfere with that. Everyone should have a right to voice what they believe in. This, under international law, is called a plebiscite. Now, I know this might get kind of boring to y'all, but until you give us that vote, you're holding our forces in check. Our forces of liberation cannot act until we register the nation to vote. The next time they have a million-man march, get a million signatures. We take those signatures to the United Nations. We got Uganda now, who's strong in our corner. We got the newly liberated Congo, of course, and all the rest of the African nations in the OAU who are waiting for us to come and to conduct this referendum. Once it comes back, then the liberation forces can be unleashed to act. The United States are going to have to recognize it. If they don't recognize it, then the armed struggle will have to continue. And when it continues, you can rest assured it won't be nothing nice. Because we're mad. We've given them too much time to make it right. Once you give us the vote, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to say, this is our national treasury. Listen to me closely, because you have to make the decision. If you decide that Runoko Rashidi will be our national treasurer, and the vote comes back that he will be the national treasurer, then he forms our treasury. Once our treasury is formed, that's agreed upon through the vote by all strata of our people, from what they call the low to the high, the bourgeois to the non-bourgeois, the street people to the church people, agree that this is our national treasury, then the United States will have no reason not to let the flow of reparations come. And they got trillions on top of trillions that owe to us after 400 years of slavery. But this is the methodology that must take place before the troops can be unleashed. We have to go this route first. All throughout the history of our struggle, it's been taught that you exhaust those legal remedies because we are humanitarians first. And then the elders will give us the word if we have to unleash for the armed struggle. Now, during this period, we will be allowed to train our troops. For all of the brothers and sisters y'all worry about that's out here on dope, that's out here banging, that's not going to school, that y'all just wash your hands with, give them to us. Give them to us. Because we have things for them to do. Okay. And but we cannot do it until you take serious what I'm telling you about that vote. They call it the plebiscite because in international law, they do things like that. They use big old words. But you have to understand that that vote is what we need. I got 10,000 troops right here in Los Angeles. I got 50,000 in Chicago right now waiting. I got about 150 in New York that I can swear to you are waiting. You got about 100,000 in Miami right now waiting. And I could name on and on and on. I could give you this because the police know this. But until you act and give us the legal basis we will give you your reparation. We will give you your nation. Because if they don't abide by international law, after the United Nations to rule on it, after the world court to rule on it, then I will personally lead the troops against our enemies. And I swear that before the whole world. And my old pastor said, they swear it too. That's right. And if you think that's illegal, then arrest me first. Because we have a right to fight for our liberty. And your soldiers will fight and will die until this new African nation is given what's rightfully ours. How much you think they owe us after 400 years of free damn labor? And they around there talking about, yeah, we rich. The Versace's got, what's the names of open out that boy with the flint kill flinger. We're the richest nation in the world. We can do all. How in the hell you think they got rich? From our great-grandparents dying and spilling their blood. Slavery, they don't like you to talk about slavery. You know why? Because they still owe us. But they're not going to give us nothing as long as we divide it. Because how am I going to pay you when this guy comes and tells me I got to pay him? And she's saying I got to pay her, and then they're not going to pay us like that. We got to get ourselves together, vote in our national treasury, and we tell them, let the money go through here. We don't agree that the money going to go through here. If they don't let the money go through here, we're going to lose forces that they've never seen before. And we're going to wreak havoc. They're going to give us what's ours. With that money, from those reparations that our dead and heroic ancestors struggle so that we may have, we're going to use to fund this great nation of ours. We got the money. The money is right before our eyes. It's just a matter of organizing so it could be handed over. I've talked to a lot of white racists. I've talked to a lot of militias. They love us because they know how we believe and that we believe in national autonomy. We don't care about overthrowing their government. Right. Leave us alone. We got business to take care of. Quit trying to mess with me. I'm trying to deal with my brothers and sisters. Here you got these Julio Butlers, these Judases among me, spreading rumors, framing us, putting us in jail, when all I was trying to do was not be with you, but just be with my own people. And look at them. See, that's our helicopter. That's our helicopter. All that is ours. But we just have to organize the apparatus so it could be passed to us. It's not going to be given to us if the Sons of Watts want it, the Arts Organization want it, the Muslims want it, the Christians want it, and they're not organized. Who you think going to try to pay a debt to a divided house? Once we come together and agree that Leonard Peltier is going to be our treasury. I start names because I try to show you how easy these things are to accomplish. If you require a little, if you put forth a little effort and defeat what you call, and what you heard me talking about before, that fear of freedom. Because a lot of y'all in here clapping, you turn around, somebody gives you freedom, you'll turn right back and go right back on the plantation. Say, Master, what I'm going to do? See what I'm saying? That's the fear of freedom. You have to conquer that fear of being, not having the confidence, the national confidence to run your own nation. I can't say it enough. Marcus Mosiah Garvey was teaching the same stuff in the early 1900s. Now we're about to enter a new millennium, and here I am running my country-ass mouth trying to get this across to you. It's a damn shame. Malik El-Shabazz told y'all about that nuclear waste, that toxic waste in the 50s. And here it is, we're in the millennium, and I'm up here got to tell y'all the same thing about that, what y'all call Jerry Curl stuff. All that toxic waste in your head. You got to wake up, and you got to study. We have to liberate the nation. National liberation is the answer to our problems. Once that vote comes back, if they vote for Daddy Grace to be our prime minister, then this army is going to fight to support and to protect Danny Grace. That's why I'm telling y'all, you better take this vote serious, because when it comes, it's going to be supported. So don't be putting, no, I ain't got to say that because I know who, I ain't got to tell y'all to vote. Okay, and I want to thank, people got to go, people getting old, we're getting old, but I want to thank Nate Oldham, I want to thank everybody. Who's else is over there? I want to thank Diane. I mean, they helped me so they saved my life in prison when they were putting me in those holes. They went to Sacramento, and they saved us, and they're still struggling for us. We got to support our brothers and sisters that's fighting within that system, that's helping us survive in those prisons to fight another day. Well, I want y'all to say a few words. I've been running my mouth.